Hi, Lynn here. I want to give you guys some experience that me and my family went through with the Pentecostal church. And if you guys hear noise, my husband and two boys are watching the A-Team. We got a collection of the A-Team, and they like watching that. So when we were in the Pentecostal church, like I said, well, I don't know if I said, anyway, me and my husband were both raised in a Baptist church. And all of our life, we were told that you had to be baptized to keep your salvation, that you must be baptized. And then from there we went to a Pentecostal church. The reason why we left the Baptist church is because the pastor at the Baptist church said something kind of creepy, and I got a very uncomfortable feeling about it. I was going up to him. In some churches you can go up to the pastor and just talk to them. So I was going up there, and I heard him, he was talking to another person. I didn't want to interrupt. So I was waiting for them to finish so I could speak with them. And the guy told the pastor that was a good sermon today. And the pastor said, "It's all up here." And when he said that, I'm like, okay, what was that? Yeah, after that, I didn't go back there. Like, I don't know what he meant by that. And I'm like, yeah. I didn't like it. Well, that was a little weird. So then we went to a Pentecostal church. It was an Assembly of God. Trinity Assembly of God is what it was called. We went there. Well, I went there. I was invited. A woman there invited me to that church. So when I went there, it was just me. I sat next to the woman, and I heard, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I heard gibberish, like blah, 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 whatever they do that way. And I'm like, my eyes got big, and I'm like, whoa. And my words, I was thinking in my mind, I'm like, what did I just get myself into? And I was about to get up and leave, and the woman next to me patted me, and she's like, "Oh, it's okay. It's just the Holy Spirit pouring out out of her." And I'm like, or pouring on her or something like that. And I'm like, huh? I actually believed her, and I'm like, first I was like, huh? And I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, okay. But then I got to thinking, it just didn't seem right. And, but I kept going. I went to, well, I should say we were going. For 4 years, we went to that church. Enough. So I noticed some things about the church. They actually had, I've never seen this through the Baptists, but this church did. They actually had a growth chart. And they said that this growth chart, we want to make sure you're growing. And it was all nothing but works. volunteering, going to Wednesday nights. What else was on there? It was a bunch of stuff, and they called it the growth chart. And I bought into this. So did my husband. And I didn't think nothing of it. They did speak a lot of, and this is another thing that they did, tithing. They did speak a lot about that, and they also taught that you tithe, that God would bless you, that he would give you double than what you give. I know, it's crazy. So, tithing is in the Old Testament. You don't have to do that no more. In the New Testament, it talks about giving. If you want to. Give with a cheerful heart, right? You don't have to tithe anymore. And, I have to tell you this. I just remembered. Actually, two things now. There's a few things. Okay. So, I was sitting in the sermon, one of their sermons. I don't even know what they were talking about. I can't even remember. And I heard idols, the word idols, 3 times. When you're bound by law, you have no idea what things are. So, I had no idea. I actually thought, because I was so bound up by law, that I actually thought holidays was worshiping idols. I know, crazy, right? So, and I thought that's what he meant. But he was talking about something else. Now that I'm not bound up in law, I understand a lot more now. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, he's opened up my eyes on a lot of things. But anyway, I heard that, and I will explain about the idols, why he said that. And I think a lot of people need to hear it. And then what I really want to get to. Okay, it was around Christmas time. That's my husband's phone, so excuse me if you hear that. So, it was around Christmas time. And every Christmas we have such a hard time buying gifts for our children. And I remember sitting on the love seat, just crying. I was crying looking at the Christmas tree, and there was nothing under the tree. And it was only like, I think 3 days before Christmas. I was just crying because I didn't have anything for them. And the reason why it's so hard for us, because we're a low-income family, and with these shops, my husband's a shop worker, and they get laid off for the holidays, and they don't go back until after the first of the year. So it was really hard for us, and this is every year. So out of nowhere, my special needs son, my boy, his name is Dakota, if I haven't mentioned that, stood up out of nowhere. He just stood up, and out loud he said, "Good news, Christmas is coming." That's what he said, out of nowhere. And then I get a phone call immediately after he said that. And it was the church that we were attending to. Now get this. I picked up the phone and I answered. And it was one of the leaders there. And he said, we were led to call you to see if you need help with Christmas. And I said, wow, I was just sitting here in my living room looking at my tree and crying because I don't have anything for my kids. Okay, so he asked me what they need, what their sizes were, what one gift they would like. And I told him. And then he's like, can I pray for you? I'm like, sure. You can pray for me all you want. We all need prayers, right? At the time, I didn't know what I was into, though. Well, as he was praying, he kept mentioning giving. And I had a very uncomfortable feeling during the time of the prayer. Like I felt pressured. Yet I didn't have anything. Right. I didn't have anything to get anything for my children for Christmas. Me and my husband, either one of us. We didn't have nothing to give our children. But yet he was praying over me on the phone and pressuring me about giving. And I didn't even catch that because I was blinded. Sin blinds you. I was so blinded. But now that we're away from that church and that cult, wow. I look back and it's like, wow. But yeah, he was pressuring me about giving. And speaking of giving, okay. I have to tell you this too. I was so angry, so mad. We got something in the mail from that church. And we're like, oh, well, maybe it's a letter saying that they were concerned about us and stuff like that, or maybe some new news or some updates about the church. So I opened it up. I kid you not. I don't know if I still have that now or if I threw that away. I can't remember. But I do remember how angry I was. I opened it up. I kid you not. It was a paper with their name on it, and it was a statement of how much you gave in that year. I was infuriated. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Okay, so that's another thing about this. They really strive for you giving, for tithing, I should say, not giving, tithing. Because that's what they say during the sermon, or before the sermon, or whatever. Okay. Then, okay, so I have animals. I have a cat and I have a dog. My dog is a boxer mixed with lab. She has very bad social anxiety, or separation anxiety. Excuse me. Very bad. She's very close to us. And I think it's part of her breed too. I think boxer and labs suffer separation anxiety. So this dog, I can tell you some stories about this dog. And she can't help it. She literally, every time we went to church, she literally ate my house. I'm not kidding you. She's ate drywall. She's ate my furniture. She's ate, we've left bread out on the counter. She's ate a whole loaf of bread. She's just, it's horrible. She's chewed siding off our door like she was trying to get out. It was bad. So we decided, oh, well, why don't we just take turns going to church? Okay, well, we'll just do that. So me and the kids would go one weekend, and then the next weekend, my husband and the kids would go. We did that for a while. Nobody said anything. And then one of the people in the congregation came up to me and said, "Where's everybody at?" I'm like, "Oh, well, me and my husband take turns because our dog literally eats the house. She has separation anxiety. It's really bad." And I couldn't believe what she said. She's like, "Well, it's time to get rid of the dog." Seriously? I was mad, but I didn't say anything. I was so mad because, I was so mad. And I felt it. You know when you're so mad that you can actually feel it boiling inside of you? Oh, that's how mad I was. And I'm like, I didn't say anything because I don't like confrontation, for one. And it's not right, even though she said that, it's not right for me to stoop down to her level, you know what I mean? So I let it slide. I let it go. I mean, after all, we're all sinners, right? But it did, I was mad. And then my husband went. And it was the same woman. He went to church, and she said the same thing to my husband. "Oh, it's time to get rid of the dog." My husband was mad. He didn't say anything either. You know, you got to pick and choose your battles, if it's really worth fighting over. And some things you just gotta let slide off your back. So that's when we decided to that we were done. But before the dog thing, I fell into the growth chart, and I started volunteering in my youngest son's classroom. Not that I don't know how to explain that. I mean, I wasn't pressured to. I mean, that's fine if you want to do that, but you don't have to. I mean, if you felt led to volunteer or do things, then do it, but you don't have to. So I did that for a little while. I did enjoy it. The kids are cute. They're adorable. But yeah, back to the dog thing, I was really upset, and in the car I had a conversation with God. I told him, I don't understand why people got to be this way. I told him I don't understand what happened, and I heard him say Jezebel spirits. He didn't say spirit, he said spirits, which means more than one. And I didn't know, when he said that, I'm like, oh, what's that? Like, I didn't know what that was. And then after that, I still told him, like, I don't get it. I don't, why is people, I thought people that people that are saved don't act like that. And then I heard him say, in the last days, many hearts will grow cold. I didn't say anything after that. I was just really disappointed. But, and then we left the church 2018 of spring. And when I left that church, I need to mention this too. When I left that church, I started getting spiritually attacked. I'm not kidding. It was scary. Because they also tell you, I remember one of the sermons, they were telling you something to the fact that you can lose your salvation, and I actually believe that. I actually believed it. Back to, again, I'm sorry, I'm scattering all over, but back to what I was saying. What I mean by spiritually attacked. One night I was laying in bed. I felt something staring at me. And I don't know, I felt eyes upon me. I lifted my head up, looked down at the end of my feet. I seen a shadow figuring of the shadow figuring. It looked like, seriously, it did. It looked like the witch from Snow White. And I felt nothing but fear. I believe it was the spirit of fear attacking me. It didn't touch me, but I felt it. That was creepy. And I didn't do anything. I didn't say anything. I didn't call Jesus. I didn't do nothing, because nobody talks to you and tells you what to do when you're being spiritually attacked. That's another thing these churches don't talk about. They don't talk about the end times. They don't even speak the truth. It's all work-based. But I pulled the covers over my head and I turned, and eventually it went away. Another thing that happened to me spiritually too, I don't know if it was the spirit of death. I don't know what kind of spirit it was, but I believe it was a spirit for sure. It looked like I was taking a shower. I was washing my hair. And in the shower I was washing my hair, I seen a very tiny, like that, black fuzz. It was a black fuzz coming right at me. And my reaction was, what the heck is that? And then it came and it went in my soul. It went into me. I know this sounds crazy, but we live in a spiritual form world. There is spirits of demons and all kinds of things on this earth. And this is crazy. I know, it sounds crazy, but that actually did happen to me. After that happened to me, I noticed a change in me. Like, I was depressed all the time. I was even suicidal. I wanted to end my life. I was hostile towards worship. I was hostile towards God completely. Like, I couldn't understand why I was feeling that way. I do remember this. When I got out of the shower, I was standing in front of the mirror on the counter trying to comb my hair and doing my things, and my husband was in the bathroom. I do remember this. I do remember telling him, sorry, I'm trying not to get emotional. I I remember telling him how empty I felt. I felt so empty. And I told him I don't like it. Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel so sad? Why do I feel so empty? He didn't say anything to me. All he did was hug me. I don't know, guys, but if you're in a church like that, you need to get out, because it's demonic. And I think those spiritual things that happened to me, I really believe it was because they prayed over me. And what they teach isn't true. If you're in a Pentecostal church, Trinity, or Assemblies of God, or anything like that, you need to get out, because they're going to try to control you if they have something like that. Jezebel spirits. If they're controlling you, that's a Jezebel spirit. If they're trying to force you to tithe or do works or anything I mentioned in here, you need to leave. There's nothing wrong with having church at home. We are the church. Church is not the building, it's us. We're the church. So I'm going to leave it at that, and I hope this helps somebody, and I hope that you will receive this, and please get out. It's not good. I will have another video on a different church that I got almost wrapped up into when I was much younger. So, with that being said, the only thing you have to do to be saved and sealed until the day of redemption is believe the works that Jesus already did for you. That's it. You just have to believe it and receive it. That is the only work you have to do. Believe that he was born through Virgin Mary, died on the cross, rose from the dead, and was resurrected. That's all you have to do. You don't have to do anything else. And as for growth, that will happen in time. It doesn't happen overnight. It will happen in time. It takes time. God bless and take care.